Hey everybody, what's up? We are back into a little bit of well, I say back. Hey, well, this is actually one of my very first video that I'm doing over Civilization 5. I'm not doing a complete playthrough on this one. I do have that planned down the road. That's probably what I'll do next. I was in the middle of a game, and I was playing as the Koreans, and my goal essentially was to go for a science victory because it was the only victory type in Gods and Kings, at least, that I had not been able to accomplish. And I wanted to try to do all the different victory types before I go into Brave New World, where a lot of the mechanics for both old and new, things change a lot in the Brave New World, and so I wanted to try to get this last one. The science victory is very straightforward. It's probably the easiest victory condition in my opinion to achieve because there's really not a lot you really need to do besides just maintain your economy and just tech up faster than everybody else. I mean, that's really what you're ultimately trying to do here. And so, but there are some things that I try to keep in mind, and things that, as far as the um, just the overall strategy and what you're trying to approach to get this particular victory type. Um, and it's interesting, and there are ways that you can accelerate this. And this game just went so well for me that I felt like I had to kind of video this out just so I could kind of explain where what I did and how I came. So I'm not going to actually complete this game. This is more just like an info vid, than more than anything. As you can see at my demographics right now, I'm pretty much ranked in the top one or two in everything except for the approval rating. I'm around a couple of civilizations that are really big on a trying to get the culture, or trying to get the cultural victory, to have a lot more shiny things for their people to be happy about. But really, at the end of the day, as long as you're not negative, I mean, that's really it. I mean, happiness, it helps you get to golden ages faster if you can pull it off. But I mean, as far as just trying to get it, what you're trying to do, as long as you're positive, as long as it's at least one or above, you're good. So just kind of want to look at that. I mean, so you kind of see what we're doing. You might see soldiers here, but I'll explain what I'm saying, here in a second. But this is basically where we are. Seoul, I guess. I never really understood, these places or whatever like that. The name of a lot of these places is my capital. And the thing about a science victory is just understanding how to to generate the most maximum amount of science as possible. And we are basically, population is everything. Like, science isn't like culture or faith, where they're produced from buildings, or in that sort. Science is all about having a large population. Essentially, the more people that you have, the more science that you're going to produce. And if I understand it correctly, every active citizen that you have in your empire, like every person you have, each one thing, adds one science to its base. So just by having people in general, these 28s, these 23s, you see that. I mean, people that know civilization knows the big number right here is it's the size of your population. So each city, or the number of citizens you have in that particular city, and so that right there, that's the base. So the more citizens that you have, the science or the more science that we're trying to produce here. And from there, you're just basically trying to build. You just want to build lots of science buildings, and get a lot more specialists. This is actually my best science city down here. There's Jeonju. I can't pronounce this stuff. And if we look inside the city, we're producing over 220.6 science. So when you look at it, you look at my base population is 28, so we're getting 28, from population. We're getting 20 extra, from population. We got 14 from specialists, just 10 from having our buildings. And the terrain is another part that's very important, which I'm going to explain here, which is why this city ended up being my science center in particular. But again, you don't want to starve your cities, trying to produce, trying to get enough specialists in here. I mean, really, right now, I mean, you see I got 26 food. I mean, I can actually bump this up a little bit. And I mean, as you can see, it doesn't, I mean, we're still producing plenty of food, and that only moved my turns until a new citizen down to 1. So, that helped, that increased I don't even know how much it went up. See, I mean, we just went up. We made it go up to almost 250 signs just by populating that university, which I hadn't done yet. And with some of the uh, and with some of the special features with Korea, which is they're built to get a scientific victory. My bank and my market can also produce one science as well. So it's like we can maximize our money potential all at the same time while we're over here trying to build up our money, our money potential while building up our science. But above all, like you think that, so you would think like when I say the population game, that you would just having a really large empire would matter, but that's not necessarily the case. Or at least in this, well, in vanilla and in Gods and Kings, yeah, I guess you could do that. You could take that strategy, just build a lot of cities, and just make sure you have the population really huge. But I think in the expansion, in the latest expansion, they actually had a 2% increase in the science cost of technologies. So, and it was based on the number of cities you had. So if you had a super empire, um, it, it it kind of slowed you down a little bit on your tech unless um, you were able to build those cities up, because a lot of things that come with conquest, you're tearing down the population in a city when you're taking over a city from another civilization, and you have to build it up and build the population up, and that can take time. And I think that was kind of a way for them to kind of balance out that particular aspect for people that probably did try to take a dominating way of getting to the science victory. But you don't, like, I personally wouldn't recommend that you do it that way. I would say 4 cities max, which is what I did here. I originally was going to just go with 3, which was these 3 that you saw right here. But the funny thing here was the Huns, Attila decided that he wanted to just completely mess with Austria up here. And Maria Theresa, had a city, or actually had a city right here that got taken over. So, or not got taken over, but he literally took, razed this city to the ground, and there was a lot, as you can see here, there was tons and tons of good resources. And so I decided, like, well, hell, if you're not going to take that, I'm going to do it. And I basically looked at it as this can be like a massive production town, because, I mean, as you can see, everything that's over here is the benefit of production. And just whatever I can get out the bit of science, I can get. It's not, as you can see, it's not a great science town. The population's a little bit lower than the rest of it. We're not making as much food, even with all the food buildings that we have. We're just not generating as much food to pop out. Our population is good. We're only doing 9. So, I mean, it's building more, it's growing as I'm able to add in all the different buildings in here that help out with sparking out, like I said, like the medical lab in the hospital, and the granary, and things to help get that food production really fast and help you build a population quicker. And so, like, my recommendation is always to just go for the 4, take 4 cities and just run it from there. Like I said, be very strategic in where you're trying to place your cities, which kind of brings me to like my new point, because jungle, like the university building that you can build inside your city. The thing that's really nice about I wonder if it actually says it when you click on it. I don't know. Yeah, it does. So if I go over here to is it the library? No. What did I just say? I am so off. Can I not read? Is it not in here? Oh, duh. I'm looking at wonders. My bad. I am so off. I apologize. The university, as you can see, it says so it gives you a 33%, increase in the science that you're already producing based on like the number of cities. Well, I'll explain that in a second. And then we got the 2+ science that comes from the jungle tiles that are worked by the city, and you already had that library. So 2 scientists. So I mean, that's really awesome. I when I was browsing the map, I was looking down here, and I mean, this is a small map, and so I know that the other civilizations are going to expand very quickly, and I saw tons of jungle, and I said, you know what, here's a river, we had a river right here, and there was tons of jungle. So I was like, this city has the potential to actually outpopulate my capital, which, as you can see, they have the same population now, and it's about to outdo my capital here. It's going to hit 29 before it, Seoul does. And I mean, just look at all this jungle. And so, I mean, as soon as I got that university built, we got all these little things to pop up there. So I mean, there's still one that's actually in the works, which is what this Korean worker is actually getting ready to work right here, or he's on his way on that turn. And it's great. I mean, it's a really, I mean, I guess it's really considered that, but that's what it is. And for me, just to maximize the improvements on there, I build trading posts on top of those because it doesn't destroy the jungle. And I actually think there is a social policy. Which one is it? Yeah, see, free thought, and then you're also getting 1+ science from every trading post that you have, and the 17% science from the university. So, I mean, once we get that social policy research, I mean, this is going to just produce massive science already. So so basically all of these are going to now produce 3 science in each one of these tiles, and um, and then obviously the university is going to give a better percentage. But it even says that, yeah, you got that stuff that going through. It works really, 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 really good. But and of course, like the science buildings, like the university, like the thing's always going to be based on the number. That percentage is also based on the number of citizens that are in the cities. I mean, I think it's pretty common sense. I mean, I mean, you look at what a library gives or what a university gives. Library gives what, I don't know, can't really think, or maybe it just upgrades it so you can't. So university gives library. Yeah, you see the library right there. It's well, that's what it doesn't give a percentage. So it says this is pretty straightforward for every 2 citizens. So you can do the math. Right there. 10. We give you 5, and you double it up each time you go up. Each 10. But that's that. And then there are certain wonders. I mean, I won the wonder game pretty good here. I mean, I pretty much built every freaking one I could think of. In the process. Like I said, the National College is pretty much vital. Like I said, the Great Library, the National College. Again, the Oracle's always very powerful because you get that free social policy. Oxford University is really big, and just like Oracle, you get the free deal. The Porcelain Tower is very good. I mean, for those that like to do a lot of research agreements, which is really important. And then I just kind of built a lot of other crap just because. I mean, like the palace. I mean, it just gave me +3 science. I was like, well, hell, I'll build a palace, and that helps. National Treasury helps it out with your gold game. It helps you build. It can help speed up a little bit. I mean, as far as more, building, maybe quick buying some science buildings, or even like helping out your military and upgrading military, because I still think that it's very important that you have a strong military as well. Um, it scares away people from wanting to invade you. I mean, you definitely want to be able to turtle in a little bit. I would avoid wars. I would avoid anything that would just slow down where you're changing the focus of of what you're trying to do. War in most cases, I know, like especially in the higher difficulty levels, are going to be inevitable, and that's just what happens. um, and the more prepared you are, as you saw my demographics, here, I mean, I'm one in soldiers, so it really makes other civilizations sit there and think twice about it. Like Attila's been super aggressive with every other civilization besides myself, and I out tech them very badly, so they're using very primitive, weaponry, while I'm over here, pretty advanced. So if they want to fight me, it's pretty good. But see, I don't have a lot of units. I mean, they're just kind of spread around just enough, just to, like I said, to make a presence. And I have enough gold that should a bigger war machine need to be had, I can quick buy a lot of units and get right into the battle. So that's why I really focused on that. Some other things, some people don't, you may disagree, but I mean, I spam farms. Like, I mean, it was all about building food and getting this population up. That's all it was. I wanted big cities, big population, strong cities. They're hard to take out. Like I said, my survivability is great, and it's doing some pretty good stuff. As far as like your social policies, I do think that, I mean, you could use like tradition or liberty. My goal was to go out there and expand really quickly. I wanted to get my cities out real quick, get my territory, because I'm playing on a small map. And so I went out there, got liberty, maxed it out, got the free settler, the free worker, and basically got my 4 cities down really quickly. And then, I went tradition last, but I jumped from liberty. I went down into, I mean, we're not generating a lot of culture in this strategy. So, I mean, it's very far in between. You see, I only have a few. I went into commerce, and this is what this mercantilism is what helped me get science for my banking. So I took this route because now I can produce money, and if I want to, if I put a specialist inside that city, to focus on that with a large population, I can afford it. So not only am I helping myself towards getting a great merchant and building up more gold, I can also get a little bit more science. And when you're doing a tech race against these other civilizations, every little bit counts. And then tradition, I went through. I mean, legalism helped my money burden a little bit, and obviously the growth benefits that you get from there. So, and I guess one more thing to know is, I guess rationalism is focused on science and that sort. I do think that these two are very big. I mean, especially if you do have a lot of jungle and trading posts. As you can see, I spam trading posts. So free thought's going to really roll in the bag here in a minute. And then, like I said, it's time to revolution research agreements. Research agreements are vital. I take every single one, even if the thing is so lopsided. My economy is so strong at this point that I just love. I mean, I'll take any kind of research that we're getting right now, and that's that. I mean, as far as diplomacy, again, you don't want people fighting you, and so I made it an emphasis to try to go out here and trade and give. I mean, I didn't give anything to anybody, so I mean, they traded, but I mean, even if it was like the dumbest trade I could think of. Even if it was like, hey, some of these dumb resources that you don't use later in the game, like iron and horses and stuff like that. Hey, like, what would you give me for that? I mean, even if we go in here like to Attila, for example, say like, hey, like, I still got wine. What would you give that to me? But he's like, it's like unfair. So it's like, hey, you want some horses or something? Wow, you would actually have some strategic sources for that. Or, what would you give me for horses? You just give me some coal for horses. What would you give me for iron? So, I mean, but he has no money. That was an awful. Like Ethiopia. Why is everybody broke? What would you give me for horses? Not a damn thing. So yeah, everybody's broke with me. Like everybody, he's got money. He can give me money for horses. Winging. See, 225 gold. So, like, hey, that makes up for a little bit. Helps,
det är min övertygelse att den uppgörelsen kan gagna både mitt och ert folk.
And it helps good diplomacy. People, everybody understands the mechanics in the game. And, the more you trade, the more you go back and forth. I mean, the less likely people are going to be aggressive with you. I mean, that's not the guarantee that they won't be aggressive with you and that they might not, wage war with you. But what it does do is just make sure that, hey, like, it just establishes goodwill with the other civilizations. It'll at least pacify them as long as possible. So if you got some extra luxury resources or anything like that, or some strategic resources that you no longer need or whatever, be trading often. Do anything that you can to keep your cash flow game going and making sure that you're doing your due diligence with those civilizations. City-states, the only ones that I feel like that are really, really worth your time is your maritime, because obviously that if they're your ally or if they're a friend, they'll just give you more food per turn in your capital. If they're your ally, then they do it in all your cities, or at least they'll give you one in all your cities. And so that'll help out your population growth there a little bit as well. So make sure that you're keeping those guys. There's only 2 maritimes there, so we definitely put a big focus on that. And then, like I said, the whole goal of the science victory is to get all the rocket ships going. Right now, we just finished the Apollo program, and now we're just researching the different things that we need right now. Like I said again, so I can build the SS cockpit. Here's the SS engine over here, the chassis. And once we get all 3 of those things built, I mean, we'll go with the particles, we'll get the nanotech, and then we'll just build everything, put it in the capital, and we're good to go. I'm pretty much on the verge of doing it. I know that Ethiopia is trying to go for the cultural victory here, but they're not even close to that, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, this is me. Ethiopia's completed 3 of the 5 branches right now, so they're in the lead. But so we got 2 guys really trying to get on culture. I should be able to beat them though, but they, like I said, they got to still get these 2 filled out on how close they are, plus the Utopia project. But I think that our research will and being able to build, and we'll put everything on research and production focus to get things out as quickly as possible, and we should be able to launch that space shuttle before these guys are able to do that. So, but there won't be no conquest or no domination victory here. Everybody's got their capitals until it's not taking over the world. Diplomacy. I haven't really played the diplomatic game. I don't know who's got that. I mean, that would probably take a while. I don't think anybody's essentially going that. So really, I got to worry about just my opposition going and beating me to the cultural victory. They're not going to out-tech me. As far as science, like I said, I'm the only one that's completed the Apollo program. So now I just got to build all 6 of these parts really quickly, and we should be good to go. So it's going to be very tense. I feel like we should do it. I should be able to outproduce and outtake these people if I got my research agreements and all my science going. But I really just wanted to share a little bit of what, I mean, this was just such a good science. I mean, especially this city. I mean, this city was like almost perfection. I mean, and it also, yeah, it does stuff. I mean, I didn't talk about the great scientists a lot. I mean, definitely use their improvements and stuff. I mean, I've used their improvements, quite a bit, but I've also used them to accelerate some stuff, to accelerate some of the technologies. And so, if I do at this point in the game, I know I got a couple more I'm about to have another one come through. I'm probably just going to use those great scientists to excel some of this research and make sure that so I can get up the tree a little bit faster. I think we're producing plenty of science at this point, so I don't think I really need his improvement as much as I once did, and that's pretty much where we're going. But that's all I really wanted to go over. Just wanted to give a good example of my science victory. I was really excited about this. I just kind of wanted to get a Civ video out there anyway, since I've been spending so much time doing it. You're pretty much have just been listening to me talk. I know Civilization is not the most action-packed game to watch on a video, but I mean, this is more just an information. It's just for somebody who wants a couple of hints and tricks, or to getting a science victory, which is probably the easiest victory condition to get, because like I said, you don't have to wage war, you don't need no diplomacy, you don't have to do anything complex. You just kind of sit back, watch your economy tech up, and just kind of make sure you handle things, but make sure you have a plan and a backup plan. You don't want to just go in there and start clicking stuff. Make sure you have a focus and you know what you're trying to do in order to make that happen as quickly as possible, and you'll be fine. So, and that's what hopefully you got out of this. And that's it. Hope you guys have been enjoying my Borderlands videos. I will be branching out and doing some other different games and stuff like that, and I think it's going to be really fun. And I look forward to doing the Civilization playthrough. I think that one's going to be really amazing. I guess I think I've grasped the mechanics a little bit, and I've gotten at least good enough at everything to where I don't feel like I'm going to embarrass myself and we'll lose the game or something like that. So we'll do it. It'll probably be the Byzantine Empire, and we'll probably either go for a cultural or a domination victory. So that's where we're going to go. That's where we'll go next. And thanks for watching the video. And as always, until next time, I will catch you guys later.